Hey everybody, welcome to class. Today we are going to do a favorite Southern staple today. And people have a lot of trouble with it. They either claim that they can make them or they can't. There's nothing hard about it, but there are some tricks that if you know those tricks, it'll make it so much easier for you. Hello, Cheryl. Hey, Morgan. I am going to go ahead right now and wash my hands like a surgeon about to take out somebody's tonsils. So if you've already joined us, rush and wash your hands and then come right back. It's about the 14th time this morning I've washed my hands, but that's okay. Be sure to go over to the Cookie School page and post what is your favorite recipe that we have done in a class so far. That's just good information for us to know. And we like to know how many of you have made those things. And here's another tip for you. If you make any of the Cookie School recipes, be sure to take your picture with whatever it is. If you made the tortillas, or you made the salsa, or the Rice Krispie treats, or any of the things that we have made in class, be sure to take a picture of it, because we are working on a bingo game that will be posted on the Cookie School page. And your token for bingo is your picture of you in that item. So hopefully we'll get some pretty good prizes, and that'll be a lot of fun. So if you have done that, if you have been making some of these things, be sure to take a picture with them. I want to show you the very first thing that you have to be able to do in order to make deviled eggs, and that is you have to first be able to boil a perfect egg. Now these have been boiling, I don't really know how long because I didn't set a timer, and I did these by the method, you know what, that's fogging up, isn't it? I did these with the method where you start with cold water and all that. But I have a method that is a bit easier, and I'm going to show you. I've got a pot of water. There's nothing added to that water, no salt, no vinegar, nothing like that. And I'm going to take eggs straight out of the refrigerator, put them in a slotted spoon, and lower them into this hot water. And once I get... Now, if I see something coming out of one of the eggs, that means there was a little slight crack, and that would be one that I don't want to use. Oh, I see one. Do you see that? That one's got a crack in it, so I'm going to take that one out. Oh, that one does too. Just don't drop my egg carton. I'm dropping these cold eggs down in here, and once I get them immersed, Alexa, set a timer for 12 minutes. They are going to cook for 12 minutes. I'm going to reduce my heat to about a 4. I had it on full heat, but now that it's still boiling, even though I put the cold eggs in there, I am going to cover it, and I don't know if did Alexa answer me? Alexa, set a timer for 12 minutes. Oh, she did. I just couldn't hear her. Okay, I want to show you what can possibly go wrong if you don't know how to boil a perfect egg. Okay, I'm going to take this right over here to my sink. Can you see that? Now, this is still hot, so I'm going to put this in the sink, and I'm going to run cold water in there. Going to add some ice to make it cool down. I always do this in the sink, so when it overflows, it just goes down the drain. Now, when you put cold water in over these eggs, it stops the cooking. Okay, while I'm cooking the other eggs, I want to show you how to make a couple of the things that are staples in my house, and maybe you would like for them to be staples in your house too. One of them is at the top of the recipe, and it is the recipe for the house seasoning. This recipe came from Paula Deen. She uses it in everything, and therefore, so do I. Got some. I am going to put, I need a bigger, I'm going to put 1/4 cup of black pepper. I put this when I'm seasoning green beans or I'm seasoning, you know, anything. I put it on my baked chicken. I use this seasoning so frequently. Okay, there's my 1/4 cup of black pepper. Now I've got 1/4 cup of garlic powder. This is new, so I'm sure I'm gonna have to take the little seal off. And then I need 1/2 cup of salt, which is going to be 2/4 cups. And all I'm going to do is stir this around. And I tell you what I like to do. I have these little canisters like this. These are made by Tupperware, but I like to keep these sitting beside my stove because I use it so frequently. So instead of having mine in a jar or a little container like this, I always put it in a little shaker so that I can keep it right there because I use this, gosh, just about everything. And it's one of the key ingredients in my deviled eggs. And these deviled eggs are easy, so don't send me some mail talking about why are you doing something that easy, because this is for kids. And deviled eggs is typically something that is a favorite of children. And so the mama usually says, well, you need to get in here and learn how to do this because it's an easy recipe for you. I mean, it's no cookie, but still. So I've got these little shaker containers that are filled with my house seasoning. And that is courtesy of Paula Deen. The other thing that I use, and I make this in our house, my family likes to eat sandwiches, and they want garlic mayo. Let me turn down my heat over here. They like garlic mayo on sandwiches, and so I have this little crazy shaped little container, and everybody in this house knows that if you get this out of the refrigerator, this is going to be garlic mayo, and if you just want plain, you better get it out of the mayonnaise jar. But I am going to take a cup of mayo and a teaspoon of garlic, and this is just the kind of garlic you get in a jar. And I'm going to stir that together, and of course, the longer it sits in your refrigerator, the more flavorful it gets. So when our eggs are done, they are going to be mixed with a little bit of that garlic mayo and a little bit of that seasoning salt, and we are going to have the perfect mixture. Now, I'm going to get a cutting board and then show you what these other eggs look like. You know, I'm a teacher, and I think you need to look. I don't need to just show you what is right. I need to show you what is not right as well. Okay, I am peeling my egg. And this one just peeled perfectly. Of course it would. But one of the things that is a huge debate in the deviled egg world is that sometimes the eggshell likes to stick to the egg white, and you don't get a pretty egg-shaped egg. You get one with all these pits in the side. And people have different things they tell you to do for that, such as add baking soda to the water, add salt to the water, use older eggs, use room temperature eggs, start with warm, cold water and let it get up to hot. All of these peeled beautifully. But if you've ever peeled one that did not do that, if you do it the way I'm showing you, okay, I want you to look at that. Do you see that gray around the edge? That's not going to be very pretty in our egg salad. Our egg salad is going, our little deviled egg mixture would be more gray than anything, than yellow. And the yellow is not bright anymore, which means it's pretty dried out. This is what you don't want. If you have done this, you have cooked your eggs too long. And I know I cooked these too long because I didn't set a timer and I wasn't paying attention, so I'm going to throw these away. Well, maybe I'll put a couple of them to the side so we can compare it once we get the others. I'm going to just put these in here. This feels very dry. I like the yellow to be far less gray. You can see all that gray in there. And much brighter and much less cooked. I'm going to wash this off real quick. Deviled eggs are something that people like to take on a picnic or to the family reunion or to any place any place that is like a summery meal, and especially in the South, we can make something out of an egg. I guess everybody in the South is supposed to have chickens or something. So there are a lot of things that we make out of eggs. One of the things that my mama used to make was egg salad. And it was like a deviled egg that was all chopped up and put on bread, and you eat it. And that's a favorite at the Masters golf tournament in Augusta, is their egg salad and their pimento cheese. Those are two Southern staples that everybody likes. And so all you have to do to get egg salad is basically take all the parts of your egg and chop it up with a fork, add the same ingredients, but put it on bread instead of in the piece of in your deviled egg holder. Now, at Easter, I don't know why, but I guess Easter is all about eggs, and so we have, I've got several bunny platters that hold deviled eggs, and I even have these little picnic platters. You see, it's got a half of an egg shape, so it holds them supposedly and keeps them from sliding around. Not really sure that happens, but you just can put a top on them and keep them in the refrigerator. But you don't have to have a deviled egg container. You could use just a plain plate or even a paper plate to put your deviled eggs on. But if you have a full dozen eggs, a dozen is 12. So if each egg makes 2 deviled eggs, you're going to end up with 24 deviled eggs. So you're going to have that's quite a few out of a dozen eggs. So let me see. Jamie, you love deviled eggs? I like them okay. There's a whole world of deviled egg people, just like I'm in a world of cookie people. Ah, I hear my timer. Alexa, stop. Do you see my eggs? I'm going to run the cold water in there. In the deviled egg world, Alexa, stop. In the deviled egg world, people like to make bougie deviled eggs. You know, some with avocado and bacon and relish and pickles and anything they can think of to add to their deviled eggs. That's what they want to do. I'm trying to run this cold water until I can touch these eggs. See if I can turn it where you can see what I'm doing. Okay? This is just cold water. I can put my hands down here. Those eggs are kind of hot. I usually pour some ice in there because that just takes care of it, and I can leave that in the sink and go on about doing something else. But right now I'm just trying to turbo freeze the eggs. Just trying to shock them so that they will stop cooking, because if I just said, oh, I'm busy, and I turn off the stove and I leave them sitting over there, you know what will happen? They'll just keep right on cooking in that hot water. And remember, I don't want dry looking eggs with a lot of gray. There's no pepper in that, but that looks like there's pepper in there, and it's because those eggs are overcooked. Now, get where you can. I am peeling these eggs, and you see they peel nicely. I'm going to put that one back down in the cold water. I tap it and roll, and I may get one or so. I tell you though, every time I have done it with this procedure, with a timer and cold water and hot water, or cold eggs and hot water, I have had easy to peel eggs, and I didn't have to put anything in there. Look how easy that one came off. No pits in that egg. Oh, I broke one open. But since I did, look at the difference in the color. Do you see any gray around the outside edge of that? And I was handling that roughly, but I'm going to keep that yolk. I'm going to put that right in my bowl. One thing about deviled egg, people, is they all have a way of doing it, and the way they do it is the right way. So you just basically have to figure out how you like to do it. But the very first place you can go wrong with a deviled egg is in not being able to boil a perfect egg and getting that gray, dried up looking egg yolk. Okay, now I'm going to cut. Now look how pretty that egg is on the inside. That's not dry. That is a very moist egg. And I am going to empty that yellow into my bowl. And then I'm going to put the egg white in the container that is made for that. Beautiful egg yellow. Look at the difference in the color. After you put all that ice in there, these are not too hot to handle. All right, this is all I'm going to do for right now. Now, you could start out with a dozen eggs and only have 10 eggs that are good. So it's hard to tell you an exact amount to add a cup of this or a half a cup of that. But what I'm trying to do is just use a fork to break down this boiled egg yolk. Can you see that? I want very small pieces. I know some people who do it in a blender. I just do it with a fork. I like mine a little lumpier rather than creamy like a paste. Now, that mixture that we just made, that we put in our sprinkle container, I'm just going to sprinkle some on here. That is salt and pepper and garlic powder. Still look at the difference in the two colors. Do you see that? And a spoon at the time, I'm going to take our garlic mayo. And the reason I do it a spoon at the time is because very rarely do I start out with the exact number of eggs and end up with that same number. I might break one or handle one too roughly or something like that. But now I am just turning this. I'm just adding a spoonful at the time. That's still a little dry, so I'm just going to put a little more. It's easier to go back and add more. You can't take it out, though. I wouldn't want to get it too oily. just show you, you can just take this and put it into your egg whites with a fork. But, you know, I like to be a little extra. I usually will do it with a piping bag. But some of you may not have a piping bag, so I'm going to show you something that you do probably have that you can use. Everybody got one of these? That's just a Ziploc bag. Let's taste that. That's good. I'm going to put it down into my piping bag. Now, if I wanted to make egg salad instead of deviled eggs, all I would do is take this and crush that up with my fork too. Okay, I'm going to try to squeeze that into the corner. And I'm going to cut it off. Cut the tip off. And now I am going to squeeze my filling into my egg half. Now some people put paprika or, you know, some other something on top of theirs. This is just a matter of preference for what I like to do. I have made them before using avocado because avocado is like my favorite thing in the world. But I also like to just crack a little bit of pepper on the top. And you have deviled eggs to take to your picnic or your family reunion or just because it's Sunday in the South. I've got some other good recipes lined up for us. I hope that you will share this video so that your friends with children might want to see some of the classes. I also hope that you are doing some of the recipes and keeping a picture so that you might have bingo when it comes to, and of course, the more chances you have to win bingo depends on which of the recipes that you have tried. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So be sure as you're going through to go ahead and take a picture when you do make one of the Cookie School Kids class recipes. I will see you next Monday. Bye now.